Good afternoon, everybody. This is Caleb alongside Ryan here with Indiana Storm Chasing Network and GLSCN. I'm going to be coming to you guys live here this afternoon, giving you a live update as to what's to come, and we're going to time it all out here for you as well. Got a lot to talk about and not a lot of time to do it. First and foremost, let's look at the models here. Ryan's going to walk you through that. We're going to take a look step by step as to what's going to come, how's it going to go down, and what to expect. Ryan?
Yeah, so looking at the model here, based on right now, about 1 o'clock Eastern time, 2 o'clock or so, we're seeing some rain up in northwest Indiana. That will continue to move out of the state as the afternoon and evening goes on. Our attention turns to this, we're going to call it blob of rain, moving in from Illinois and Missouri areas, moving up into the state, roughly around that 7 or so-ish time frame. Could be 6, could be 8, just around 7 o'clock. We're going to see that rain move in west to east across Indiana. As that does so, our attention then shifts to the south, very far south here toward the Evansville area. A perhaps line of stronger storms may try to push up into the state roughly around that 9, 10, 11 o'clock time frame, and then points after. That's when we expect it to arrive or get at least close to Indiana. That should arrive around that time frame, and as it does so, it should be weakening as it moves through. But models here do indicate, if we zoom way in here, we could see some stronger cells as it does so in very far southern Indiana. That will continue to push through the state, should weaken as it does so. And by the time we get toward that Wednesday morning time frame, it should be drier in nature with just some scattered showers left over. Caleb?
Yeah, so with that being said here, we did go ahead and issue a severe weather risk for the state of Indiana today for the possibility of those stronger thunderstorms moving into the state, primarily after that 10 o'clock time frame. Areas in blue, that's a very low risk. And then we also have areas shaded in green from Vincennes, Jasper, Evansville areas in southwest lower Indiana. That's a low risk, which coincides really nicely with what the SPC has out, or the Storm Prediction Center. They have a marginal risk, which is a 1 out of 5 in place for southwest Indiana for this evening. We went ahead and matched them with a low risk, as there is that possibility of a line of storms moving in kind of on the backside. So how it really times out is we're going to start with all rain, maybe some embedded thunderstorms, really anytime after 5 o'clock here tonight, and that'll gradually overspread the state. But what comes on the backside of that, we could have a narrow band of of showers and perhaps some thunderstorms moving in across southwest lower Indiana. And those showers or thunderstorms could mix down some stronger wind gusts. That's really what the main risk is going in through tonight, is going to be those stronger wind gusts. There's a lot of wind shear present in the atmosphere today, both in speed and directional. So what that means is if we get some stronger showers to develop, they could pull down some of those winds and bring them down to the ground. So with that being said, we have a low risk in green and a very low risk in blue, just to kind of coincide with that stronger wind gust potential with any stronger shower that does develop here today. And here's the risk that we have here for our wind outlook here today through tonight. We have a low risk in brown, which includes Vincennes, Jasper, and Evansville, Indiana, and then a limited green risk for Terre Haute, Indianapolis, and points south. We do expect a weakening trend, as Ryan mentioned. As this line of showers progresses, we do expect it to weaken as it moves into central and eastern Indiana, with the highest potential across southwest lower Indiana. There's a little bit more instability down there between Evansville and Vincennes, so that could perhaps promote some stronger showers or perhaps a thunderstorm in there as well. The tornado risk is very low. We don't expect any tornadoes tonight. We did include a very low risk tonight, just in case there is any, notching. If we get a line, we could have a couple kinks in there, but I don't think we'll have to worry about that too much here tonight. Here's a broader look at what we expect here tonight across the entire region, across Indiana and Ohio. We have a very low risk in blue, and then our low risk in green. Again, main hazard, damaging wind gusts, perhaps up to 58 miles per hour for areas in green, and then up to 45 or 50 in areas in blue. Again, it'll be more sporadic the further east you go as these storms lose intensity. We don't expect widespread severe weather tonight, but there is a possibility of 1 or 2 stronger cells that could mix down some stronger winds. With that being said, though, we're going to have some rain, though. Let's talk about that. It's going to be a pretty even coat in terms of rainfall across Indiana, with most seeing anywhere between 1/4 and 1/2 inch possible across the majority of the state. Higher amounts across northwest Indiana. That's largely because they've had some ongoing showers today already, even some thunderstorms. up by Rensselaer, Gary, and South Bend. They've already seen some thunder and lightning here this morning already. That'll continue or into the overnight hours tonight. Again, here's a timeline for the heaviest rain of when we expect that to move in. Areas in white, anytime between 5 and 6 p.m., we could see that move in. Areas in yellow, 6 to 7, purple, 7 to 8, and orange across far eastern Indiana, 8 to 9 p.m. That's the timeline for the heaviest rain moving in here tonight. And back to the models here, we'll time that out for you of what that time scale means. If we back it up here, as we move forward here, there you can see some showers and thunderstorms that have been present across northwest Indiana. Here comes round 2. This is going to quickly overspread the state of Indiana as it moves in. Going to see moderate rainfall really overspread the entire state of Indiana, especially after 8 p.m. here tonight, anywhere really between 6 and 10 p.m. And then our attention turns, as Ryan mentioned, to southwest Indiana. You can see a line of some heavier precipitation there. There's darker reds and oranges and yellows right in there. This is late tonight after 11 p.m. here at this image here. So really anytime after 9, 10 p.m. Our attention will turn to southwest lower Indiana. Could have some stronger wind gusts mixed in there. But as we progress eastward here, you'll notice that line kind of fall apart. That is indicative of some weakening. So not a lot of instability, but there is a lot of kinetics, a lot of energy, a lot of wind energy going on here tonight in the atmosphere. So if we do have any stronger thunderstorms do develop, they could pull down some of those stronger winds aloft and bring them down to the ground. So that is why we have a low and very low risk present across Indiana here today. So with that being said, I'll turn it back to Ryan here to see if he has anything else to add here. Ryan?
Yeah, just very briefly want to mention wind gusts during the day on Wednesday could be quite gusty in nature. Overnight, really tonight into that Wednesday morning, we could be seeing gusts up to 40 or perhaps 50 miles per hour in spots, likely going to be right around 40 or so. But do prepare if you have trash cans or loose objects in your yard, might want to secure those as winds will pick up overnight into Wednesday.
And they're going to change directions too. We're going to start out with winds out of the southwest here today. Even some sporadic wind gust reports already coming in southern Indiana, close to 40 miles an hour right now. That'll continue here throughout the day. As we move into tonight, especially behind our line of showers that'll be moving in here tonight, we'll enter in what's called a dry slot. With that, we could have some gusty winds pick back up here overnight tonight, especially after midnight. The winds will still be out of the south-southwest, but as we go into the day tomorrow, especially early tomorrow morning after midnight, here comes our low pressure system, and we're going to have winds on the backside of that. So winds are going to shift from southwest to northwest on the backside of the low as we go throughout the day tomorrow. Winds could gust as high as 40 miles per hour, perhaps even a little bit higher in some cases as colder air mixes in behind the low. Again, these winds will be cold. They'll be out of the northwest and not out of the southwest, northwest to southeast tomorrow. Some stronger winds there across northern Indiana, but a widespread 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts are not out of the realm of possibility here across the entire state of Indiana. And again, we have some updated wind graphics that have already been posted on ISCN. Go ahead and go check those out if you haven't. But other than that, plan on a couple rounds of wind. Today, sporadic wind gusts of 30 to 40 miles per hour, perhaps a little bit higher across southern Indiana, again, out of the southwest. They'll be sporadic in nature, not widespread. As we go into the overnight hours, they'll be a little bit more widespread as those stronger winds mix northward. They'll pull up as the low moves north as well. As you can see there on your screen, again, this is later tonight. This is after 9 o'clock. Have some stronger winds. And this is where some of those gustier showers may come into play too on the back end of that. They could pull some of those stronger winds now. You can kind of see how there's pockets of 35 to 40 miles an hour. That's indicative of those stronger showers mixing or pulling down some of those stronger winds aloft. So again, not widespread, but we could have some pockets of stronger winds of 45 to 50 miles an hour later tonight. As we go throughout the day tomorrow, we're going to calm down briefly as the low moves across Indiana. Winds will be kind of calm across northwest Indiana. And then as we go into tomorrow, winds are going to shift out of the northwest at 30 to 40 miles per hour with some pockets of 45 miles per hour possible as well. And we could have some backside snow mixing in as well. That's something else to talk about here as we go into tomorrow night. This low is going to pull in some colder air behind it. And as it does so, we could see a brief transition to some spotty wet snow showers or even some wintry mix as well before everything is all said and done. A few lake effect snow showers possible too briefly on Thursday. But again, Thursday's highs are going to warm up above freezing for the afternoon. So any effects of any slushy accumulations will be really short-lived. So Not too worried about any winter weather impacts or anything like that. But don't be surprised on your way to work Thursday morning if you do run into a snow shower or two. That is highly possible, if not likely, across the entire state. So with that being said, I'll turn it back over to Ryan.
We can look at the comments here for a couple questions if you guys have any.
Yeah.
Be on here for about a few more minutes here. I
Yeah,
gotta
looks
jump
like we
out
got
at
Dean
you.
in here, Tommy in here, Walter's in here, Kevin. Hello, guys. Thanks for joining us here this afternoon. Something else I will mention, though, as well. We'll be continuing to watch radar here throughout the entire day. And if we do see any severe thunderstorm warnings do pop up, we will go live for those to cover those in their entirety throughout Indiana tonight. So do plan on that. If we do, in fact, see a severe weather risk realized here tonight, we will go live and we'll cover that if indeed we do get a severe thunderstorm warning. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them down in the chat here. We'll be happy to answer them here for the next few minutes before we hop off here. So with that being said, I'll turn it over to you guys, see what questions you guys have.
I got Sarah in here asked, hey, Ryan, you guys planning on putting out a forecast video for Michigan? It is already out for members. I'll go ahead and release it public right now for you. Give me 1 second.
Yep, so there you go.
It is now public. Go ahead and refresh your YouTube feed for MSC. It should be there.
Yep. Yeah, this is not just an Indiana weather event. It's really going to impact the entire region as a whole. This low pressure system is extremely strong. In fact, it's very strong for this time of year. If you guys have friends or family, especially in Kansas and Missouri, I want to point something out there. As this low occludes, which is a term meaning it's going to tighten, as that pressure drops, very, very strong wind gusts are going to occur across the Kansas and Missouri and even southern Iowa, kind of that region there. Wind gusts could top 70 miles an hour. Yes, 70, as this low occludes in a very short distance too. As you can see on the east side of the low, winds are going to be fairly calm, between 5 and 10 miles an hour. But you go 20 miles west, winds are going to be 60 plus briefly here this evening. So that's going to cause blizzard conditions. They're getting snow on the backside of the low tonight as we're getting rain and thunderstorms. So there's a cold side and a warm side with this system. So very, very strong winds out there. Thankfully, we're not going to see anything like that here tonight. But that could cause some snow and some whiteout conditions across Michigan too. So thankfully, we're out of the woods here in Indiana in terms of that. But that just shows you how large this system is. It's affecting really the entire eastern half of the continental United States, from severe weather, winter weather, and strong winds. In fact, there's over 1.4 million square miles worth of wind alerts in the continental United States right now, between the south all the way to Canada, with blizzard warnings and high wind warnings in between. So a very, very potent system here as we start out the month of March. So March is definitely coming in like a lion. We'll see how that trend continues as we end the month. So timing, Rob asks, timing for Northeast Ohio, particularly east of Cleveland. Yeah, we can go ahead and time that out here for you tonight. Your rain's going to start a little bit later tonight, and we'll go ahead and time that out here on the model. Ryan's going to get that pulled up here for you, and we'll get a zoomed in look here.
There we go.
Yep, there we are. So here we are here tonight. Again, this is primarily after 9 o'clock here tonight, 9-10 p.m. You guys across Northwest Ohio start seeing some more moderate, more steady rain moving in here tonight. No severe weather is expected for Northern Ohio tonight. We could have some gusty winds mixing in with a few stronger showers perhaps, but no severe weather. Again, mostly rain for you guys. By tomorrow morning, Northern Ohio and Indiana as a whole are going to be dry. A few scattered showers will be possible, especially go into tomorrow afternoon. The low pressure center is going to move over Indiana, Northwest Ohio, and southern Michigan, and that's going to bring renewed chances for showers and thunderstorms. However, with that said, there is the possibility of some severe weather tomorrow in Ohio tomorrow afternoon, primarily for eastern Ohio. You can see that line there that Ryan highlighted there across the Ohio-Pennsylvania line. There is a chance for some stronger showers and thunderstorms developing across far eastern Ohio and western Pennsylvania tomorrow afternoon. That could bring a hail risk and perhaps a damaging wind risk as well. There's the SPC outlook here. We do have a slight risk for far eastern Ohio tomorrow and a marginal risk that extends a little bit further east as well. That's pretty close to Cleveland. Cleveland, you're right on the line of that marginal risk there. But again, we'll have to see how those storms develop, if they develop near Cleveland or east of Cleveland or southeast of Cleveland. So we'll have to watch your area pretty closely as we go through tomorrow afternoon. But the highest risk of severe weather is further to your east, across far eastern Ohio into Pennsylvania, and West Virginia as well. So definitely something to watch as we go throughout the day tomorrow. And there could even be some spotty thunderstorms on the north side of that low that the SPC did not include in a marginal risk, just because severe weather probabilities are low for those thunderstorms. But because we have a lot of cold air aloft and warmer air near the surface, that creates instability. We could have some pop-up showers and thunderstorms across central Michigan, as well as northwest Ohio as well tomorrow afternoon. There you can kind of see those dots or blips, as you will. Those are those pop-up showers. Some of those could have some small hail, very similar to what we saw the other day, where we have a lot of cold air aloft. We have some pea to dime size hail, and maybe even some graupel mixing in as well with some of those. So again, sub-severe for the most part, but we could have some small hail associated with those tomorrow afternoon across really the entire LP of Michigan, as well as central Ohio and eastern Ohio. So lots of things to watch, lots of moving parts with this system. It's a very dynamic system, as we like to call it. There's lots of bits and pieces to it. And then you can see widespread snow expected for the UP, and several inches of snow possible for the UP as well. Some areas may get well in excess of 5 to 6 inches of snow. So lots of stuff going on.
I gotta pop out of here, Caleb. So if you want to keep it rolling, go for it. But
yeah, I'll do a brief recap here while you're popping out. Thanks for popping in, Ryan. Let me get one thing popped up here real quick. And yeah, Katie, I'll go ahead and time it out here for central Indiana for you. Let me get everything popped up on my end here as Ryan heads out. He's got a couple things he needs to do here this afternoon. So let me
I'll say thanks for tuning in. I will catch you guys later. Once Caleb gets his screen on here, I'll pop out.
Yep, I'm going to get it pulled up here. Bear with me 1 second here, guys. All right, we should be good to go, Ryan. Thank you, sir. Right. Yep, and you may catch Ryan here later tonight as well, as we continue to watch these storms. If we do have a severe thunderstorm warning tonight, we will both pop in, and we will cover that for the entirety of the event if severe weather is realized tonight. Again, confidence is kind of low to medium on that. The reason for that is we don't have a lot of instability. A lot of our better instability will be further south in Kentucky and Tennessee, and especially areas further south than that. But because we have a tremendous amount of wind shear and kinetics going on here across southern Indiana tonight, any added instability to that will allow for perhaps a gustier thunderstorm, bringing down some of those stronger winds aloft. So back to your question, Katie. Yeah, we can go ahead and time it out here for central Indiana. So here we are tonight. Well, let me go back to here. Here we go. This is fully loaded in. So earlier today, we had some showers and thunderstorms across northeast Indiana, bringing mainly rain and a few embedded rumbles of thunder across northeast Indiana. Here we are tonight. This is 7 p.m. tonight, according to the HRRR. This is a numerical model, a short-term model that we use to look at here. As you can see, 7 o'clock tonight, widespread rain starting to move into Indiana. Again, none of this is severe at this point in time. You know, maybe some embedded rumbles of thunder, but honestly, it's probably just going to be just light to moderate rainfall to start out tonight here tonight. Here we are tonight at 10 p.m. This is where things get tricky and where we're going to have to watch things very closely for southwest lower Indiana. As you can see, widespread rain, maybe some embedded thunderstorms mixed in here too across central and northern Indiana, as well as even southern Indiana as well. But there's your squall line here. This is your line of strong to severe thunderstorms, especially into Tennessee and points southward there, where that brighter red is there. This is your stronger portion of the line. So areas Tennessee and south is really where we expect the bulk of the severe weather tonight. But something we're going to have to watch here, some short-term model guidance has been suggesting that perhaps the possibility of some of that stronger portion of the line to mix into southern Indiana. Again, the Storm Prediction Center does have a marginal risk in place tonight for southern Indiana to account for this. So we'll have to watch this area pretty closely. Again, this is 11 p.m. here tonight. We'll have to watch out for perhaps some gusty or some stronger winds mixing in here. Again, we have really strong winds aloft. So anytime we get a stronger thunderstorm to tap into those stronger winds aloft, it could bring those down to the ground. So with that being said, this is 11 p.m. here tonight. And this is 1 a.m. So after midnight, you can see how that line is more broken, even some dry air starting to mix in as well. So again, we don't expect this to be a widespread severe weather event. Really just sporadic chances of some stronger wind gusts here as we go throughout the night tonight, primarily for southern Indiana, southwest lower Ohio is kind of where we're talking about. Here we are at 4 a.m. tomorrow morning. The majority of the state will be dry with some scattered rain showers and perhaps even a little bit of sunshine, or not sunshine, but some clear skies mixing in here as well. Here we are tomorrow morning. This is 9 a.m. tomorrow. Here's our low pressure center sitting right in here across southern Illinois. This is our low right in here. This low, as it moves over Indiana, you can kind of see it spin there counterclockwise. As it does so, it'll bring renewed chances of showers and perhaps even a rumble of thunder by tomorrow afternoon across Indiana. We have some pop-up thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon across northwest Ohio, in central and lower Michigan as well, and some light rain across Indiana. But something I will talk about here, this low is going to pull in some colder air. So actually northern Indiana for a little bit is going to be warmer than southern Indiana here. Let me show you what I mean. Here's our temperatures here tomorrow. As you can see, here we are tonight. This is 2 a.m. tomorrow morning. Again, the majority of the state is going to be still in the 50s here, but here comes our low pressure center moving in. You can see the low sitting right in here across southern Illinois. That's pulling in some warmer air across northern Indiana, northern Illinois, but it's also going to pull in some colder air across southern Illinois, southern Indiana. Here we are at 11 a.m. Tomorrow, and here's lunchtime tomorrow. So as you guys are going on your lunch break, southern Indiana will be in the 40s. Northern Indiana will be in the low 50s. So again, a 10-degree difference between northern Indiana and southern Indiana, which is kind of flip-flopped. It's backwards than what we typically think about, right? Typically, we think of northern Indiana being colder before southern Indiana. Well, that's not the case tomorrow. As we go throughout the day here tomorrow, here we are at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Again, this low is going to slowly move across the state. It's not moving overly quickly, but as it does, temperatures are going to drop tomorrow night. And this is where we could see some snow showers start to mix in as well. For our Thursday morning commute. Again, overnight lows tomorrow night are going to be in the 20s. 20s across northern Indiana, 30s across southern Indiana. And with that being said, we could have the possibility of some snow showers mixing in here on the backside of our low pressure system, especially across southern Indiana. I know that sounds weird, but southern Indiana may see a transition to snow before northern Indiana, and that's because of the way this low pressure is pulling in that cold air around the low. It's occluding around the low. So that's kind of what we talk about when we talk about occlusion. We talk about that low isolating itself, and that cold air is occluding around it. So with that being said here, we could have some colder showers and snow showers moving in here tonight, and a few lake effect snow showers as well. Again, this is 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Again, the bulk of the snow will be out of here by your early morning commute. But if you guys go to work between 5 and 6 in the morning, there could still be some lingering snow showers remaining here. So with that being said here, there's no more questions. We'll probably go ahead and pop out of here. I'll do a brief recap here real quick before we hop out of here. We're watching widespread rain showers and perhaps a few thunderstorms moving into Indiana here later tonight. This is 8 p.m. here tonight. The bulk of the precipitation will come between 8 p.m. and 1 a.m. tonight. Here we are at midnight tonight. Again, a few isolated thunderstorms possible south of Indianapolis. Again, moderate rain still occurring across northern Indiana around midnight here tonight. As we go throughout tomorrow morning, we're going to be dry after about 3 a.m. here tonight with a few scattered showers and maybe a rumble of thunder moving into southern Indiana. And again, scattered showers and perhaps a thunderstorm as we go throughout the day tomorrow with some snow mixing in late tomorrow night, primarily after 9 o'clock. We could have some snow mixing in by tomorrow morning. Again, winter impacts are not going to be widespread. We could have some, maybe some slushy accumulations briefly Wednesday night and early Thursday morning. But temperatures on Thursday are going to rise well above freezing, so we aren't really looking at any long-term winter impacts from this system. It's going to be a nuisance, but most of us are going to sleep through it, and we're not going to know what happened. So that is some good news there as we go throughout the day here tomorrow. Again, I'll do a brief timing map here for you for the bulk of the precipitation. This is when the heaviest rain is expected to move in here tonight. Again, areas in white, anytime between 5 and 6 p.m. So starting to get off work, could start to see some of those heavier rain showers move into western Indiana. Areas in yellow between 6 and 7 p.m., purple 7 to 8, and then far eastern Indiana 8 to 9 p.m. here tonight. again, rainfall amounts to come. Most areas across the entire state are going to see a pretty even spread between 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch of rain through early tomorrow morning. A little bit higher amounts across northwest Indiana, and that's because they've already had some rain. We're going to see higher amounts there because of that. And because of the thunderstorms here moving in here tonight, a lot of it has to do with how much wind shear we have present with a little bit of instability. We have added a severe risk for Indiana here tonight with the highest probabilities across southwest lower Indiana. That is really coinciding along with the Storm Prediction Center as well. They have a marginal risk, which is a 1 out of 5 for southwest portions of Indiana for a damaging wind threat. And we do see that as well being possible. So with that being said, we have a low risk for southern Indiana across Vincennes, Jasper, and Evansville with a blue limited risk as this line is expected to weaken and deteriorate as it moves further north and east through the early morning hours tonight and tomorrow. And again, here's a look at our latest wind risk. Again, higher probabilities across southwest lower Indiana, Vincennes, Jasper, Evansville, but it's still a low risk. We're not expecting widespread severe. We're not expecting any significant severe weather for Indiana. It's sporadic, stronger storms capable of producing winds up to 58 miles per hour. That's kind of what we're looking at here. Again, the baseline for a severe thunderstorm is 58 miles per hour. So that's really what we're looking at here. Just a few sporadic, stronger storms meeting severe criteria or being just below severe criteria. That's really what we expect here tonight. Again, here's a wider view of the area here. Limited risk in in blue. Again, very low risk in blue with a low risk in green. And then our general thunderstorms in brown. So a lot of us will hear some rumbles of thunder here tonight, or even everyone's going to get rain tonight, no matter where you are. But again, the highest probabilities of seeing a stronger thunderstorm are really isolated to southwest lower Indiana here tonight, with a very low risk for areas in blue, just in case some of those stronger storms do persist longer than what model guidance is suggesting, is why we added that on there, especially with the amount of wind shear that we have present here tonight. Again, any increase in instability to allow those storms to get up and tap into that will ultimately have potential to bring those stronger winds down to the ground. So that is why we have that light or dark blue, very low risk to cover that possibility. So with that being said here, guys, we'll probably pop out of here. Again, thanks so much for joining us here. And we'll continue to watch radar and model trends throughout the entire day today. And if we do see a severe thunderstorm warning be issued here later tonight, we will go live. You'll see Ryan and I pop back in here, and we will cover that for you in detail for the entirety of the event. So with that being said here, guys, we'll go ahead and pop out of here, and we will see you guys later.